Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Mikel Arteta's recent press conference ahead of the game versus Paris Saint-Germain and react to it. In our first home Champions League game this season, we're looking forward to it. These are the kind of nights that we want to experience and we want to have against an unbelievable opponent. We're just ready for it. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. This is why teams want to play in the Champions League. This is why teams want to participate in the UEFA Champions League, because it's the competition where you will face the best. And obviously, calling us an unbelievable opponent, I appreciate the prop. On showing different ways to get a result this term. We've had some very different ones. We ended up having to play a very different game in the second half against City, and at the end, we lost 2 points in the last minute. We did completely the opposite, playing against a low block like we did against City, and with different challenges. But watching the game back, the amount of things that we generated, I was so pleased with the team. Arteta's talking here about, how Arsenal can adapt to it as a team, play in different kinds of way, play attacking, play defensive. And yeah, I think that's kind of a question mark for Luis Enrique and us PSG fans. We've seen Arsenal this season and previous seasons play many different ways under Mikel Arteta with the same players. So it's still a question mark and very unpredictable how Arsenal are going to play in this game. This time at PSG as a player, it was my first professional experience. It was an unbelievable time that I spent there and I loved every minute of it. I will always be grateful to the club and Luis Fernandez because he was the one who believed in me when I was 17, 18 years old. I played professional football and from there it was a platform to share an experience in a club that decided and a city that is probably the most beautiful in Europe. It was an experience that will stay with me forever, with teammates who helped me and shaped me who I wanted to be as a player and ignited something in me to become a manager in the future. There were some very important individuals in that part of my career. Mikel Arteta talking very fondly about his time at Paris Saint-Germain. This has to be the first time I've read anything about Arteta and it's PSG time. We obviously know he's played at this club. 55 games, 5 goals, 5 assists, win a European trophy, if I'm correct as well, or at least participated in one. Yeah, I mean, it's great that he has still great memories about Paris Saint-Germain and the manager and the teammates he had at that time. On why he didn't stay there. Ronaldinho, Anelka, Okocha, Pochettino, Gabriel Hens were all unbelievable players. I wanted to stay there, but I was at that moment owned by Barcelona and they didn't find an agreement, so I had to do something else. I was so happy there. I wanted to stay there, but in the end, I had to do something. This is football. This is something I didn't know. I didn't know that he was loaned by Barca to PSG. Very interesting, but yeah, happy that he still thinks that he should have stayed. Great words. On the momentum winning games like against Leicester, he shapes the character and the body of the team. They have the certainty that they can win any context and adapt to very different contexts during matches. The Champions League demands that. You can pretend to play against this kind of opposition and dominate for 95 minutes, but it does not happen at this level. So you have to be really good in other phases as well. To stay in the game, to be comfortable and still always have the belief and intention to win it. 100%. I mean, Champions League is a moment sport, unlike a lot of league games where you're playing a side that is not on your level. So it's about adapting to periods of the game. Sometimes the opposition will have the momentum and you will not have the ball. Sometimes you will have the momentum and you will have the ball. And then it's about taking chances. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. On Champions League nights at Emirates Stadium, everybody's looking forward to it. We missed it for a number of years. And last year was the first one after so many years that we had to experience to do it. The group stage is a bit different this season, and the opposition we're going to face tomorrow is probably at the highest level that you can face in the European football. But honestly, it's a good opportunity for us to see how we deal with these nights, how prepared we are, and how we can improve ourselves in this kind of context. Once again, he's talking about the stature and the size of this game. Once again, talking great about us, calling us the highest level of European football, which is, I mean, it is correct. He's playing a top side, and I like that. I mean, you know what? Arteta maybe always does this where he, I don't know, props the opponent too much and wants to be the underdog because then the pressure will be off. But yeah. On his relationship with Luis Enrique, a smile on my face. I'm a huge admirer of him. An unbelievable personality, huge character, huge energy, always very supportive with young players. What I love about him is whether he's been as a player or a manager, his fingerprints all over the place. You can sense this his team, the way players behave, the way they want to attack and dominate games, the spirit, the energy they have. He has this unbelievable power with all the clubs he's been at. With the Spain national team and then his approach to life, to his profession, it's something to really look at, and I learned a lot of things from him. I'm expecting Luis Enrique to say similar stuff about Arteta, obviously not as a father figure, but prop him as well. I don't know how I feel about this, two opponent managers going into a big Champions League game and talking this fondly and positively about each other. But yeah, I guess Luis is a character. But he is correct. PSG do play as if it was Luis Enrique's team, which is great to see. With Enrique's influence, I admire his honesty. He's straightforward. He will look in your eyes and tell you what he thinks. In the end, the players appreciate that. They might like it more or less, depending how it happens, but I have had 2 or 3 players here who were with him in the national team, and they always said the same thing. They all enjoy playing under him. When somebody can make you feel like that in this profession, it's a big quality to have. But that is true. I mean, especially with the recent stuff with Ousmane Dembele, Lucho was straight to the point. He was like, look, you're going to be this, you're going to be dropped from the squad. And yeah, so correct from Arteta. On how highly he rates PSG. They're really tough. They're exceptional. They dominate every phase of play. They have a very clear intention of how they want to dominate the game through the ball. And when they don't have it, they want it straight back. They're really aggressive with it and they confront you. I mean, this is a great description of Paris Saint-Germain. We are a crazy possession side, the best possession side in the world, having nearly 70% possession so far this season. And yeah, when we don't have the ball, we do want to have the ball. And we're, once again, one of the best counter-pressing sides in Europe. On how important the game is and facing Enrique. Of course, we want to win the game and know after the draw in Atalanta with the number of games we have left still. It's going to be really important. Nothing is going to be decided tomorrow regarding Luis and I. We want the best for our clubs. He's won pretty much every competition you can imagine already in his career. He has transferred from a club that has a very clear identity. It's a very good test for all of us. That is true. Arsenal see this as a big test. We see this as a big test. Obviously, we got the win in our first game, but it was very uncomfortable. So we won, a better result, a better performance. And same goes for Arsenal, who drew underwhelmingly versus Atalanta last game. And whether our set pieces could be an advantage. I think every team has their own strengths and weaknesses, and tomorrow we will try to exploit ours for sure. Yeah, I mean, Arsenal, they always do the corner strategy against any team. So they're just going to keep on doing it. But they obviously know that we are weak from corners, so they will probably abuse it even more. Maybe sometimes they will look to get a corner instead of a shot on target, which will be very funny to see. Mikel Arteta and Ousmane Dembele being dropped from the squad by Luis Enrique. Well, I didn't know. I just heard the news before the press conference, so yeah, it was a surprise. I don't know what happened, but we've already done a lot of preparation for PSG, and obviously with Dembele in it, because he's a key player for PSG, but they have many other options. Dembele has the ability to do something unexpected on the pitch, to create his magic moments. We're going to prepare like we always do with every possibility, and let's see. That's the thing with Dembele. He's a perfect Champions League player. His moments can have moments, can create magic, which is very hard to defend against. But as he's saying, Paris Saint-Germain definitely do have other options. Dembele is not the only PSG player the Arsenal should be worried about. But yeah, it's a surprise to Arteta, as it's a surprise to every single person. Well, that's been it for the Mikel Arteta press conference. Soon, we will be uploading the Luis Enrique press conference. That's been it from my boy PSG, and as usual, allez, Paris.